Hello everybody, Claus Hessler my name. I'm talking to you from my little practicing studio which used to be a garage, and it's great to have the opportunity to present a short lesson with planet-drum.com. And so I put together a little excerpt from my most recent DVD, Drumming Kairos, which has over 5 hours of running time. And so I hope you like the lesson. It's something of which I think it's relevant to pretty much any drummer who wants to go for more and to have a deeper understanding of certain drumming basics, of which I'm sure they are so important for everybody who is touching a stick. Okay, I mean a drumstick, of course. So it comes also with a little PDF that you can download from the website. Also feel free to check out my stuff at www.klaushessler.com. Check out the Drumming Kairos, which is pretty cool because it ties together my other 3 books that I've written so far with the next one already in the pipeline. So I hope you like what you see. Feel free to get back to me regarding any kind of feedback, whatever, and I look forward to meeting you maybe somewhere on Planet Drum. Okay, thanks so much, enjoy the lesson, and take care. Bye-bye. This next exercise is called Serious Moves, and it really contains a lot of movements that we drummers use all the time. It is a 4-bar exercise, and you can easily transfer it also to the feet. For this version that I will show you with the hands first, the first measure is played in the fashion of what you might call the low molar. I'm using a little forearm and wrist in the wave-like fashion of the molar whip, and the first measure would look like this. You noticed as I was playing this, my wrist bending was not too extreme. You could easily recognize the motion in the wave-like fashion, but it wasn't this, you see? It's just a very moderate wave-like, whip-like motion of wrist and forearm. Now, as we proceed to the second bar, this is what in the George Lawrence Stone nomenclature you could relate to as a full stroke. So here is the bar 2 of Serious Moves for you. So you noticed on the second measure I let the stick bounce back to the full position. There is no whip at all. In the third measure you notice it's just the opposite of the first bar. First the soft note and then the loud note. So here's bar 3 for you. You noticed that on bar 3, just the order of strokes has changed. It's first the soft and then the loud note. Again, sometimes people also refer to this as an informal technique because we use the whip. Now we will proceed to the fourth bar, which is just low strokes in the Stone nomenclature with very little distance from the stick to the head. So here is the fourth measure. So now as you have seen all the 4 measures separately, let's combine them to the complete exercise. Here we are. Another important thing is that even though you see the arrows on the downstrokes heading down, of course, I'm not forcing the stick to stay down. It's just my hand that moves down, but I'm not applying any sort of tension on the accent. So that is very important in order to make full use of the energy that the rebound gives you. Here is another version of the 4-bar exercise Serious Moves with a transition to the French timpani. This time I will have my thumb on top. I'm not using the whip for this exercise, but just fingers and wrist turn. So the first bar will be this. I'm opening my hand and closing it again. So this is pretty much the same as this bar using the whip, right? You see the comparison. So the second bar would be just regular finger action. The third bar, again, the opposite of the first. And the last bar might look a little weird in the beginning, but it's actually a great tool if you just want to say hello to your floor tom for one single note, so to speak. I'm not using fingers, but it's just a wrist turn, no whip at all. So in that case, the 4-bar exercise would look like this. It is also possible to transfer these principles to a certain degree to the feet. So here's a slightly changed version of this on the bass drum, respectively the hi-hat. Notice how the motion also creates different sounds from the hi-hat. I am sort of rolling down along the footboard of the pedal, not pressing the beater into the head, but letting it rebound. Here is some sort of standard-like foot action from the ankle. The heel stays down on the ground, the hi-hat will produce a splashed sound. Again, this is just a reversed version of the first measure, also reversing the sounds, of course. This is all finally with heels up, which is another standard tool for us as drummers. All the 4 bars will then look like this.
Of course, there are tons of possible variations of this exercise, using different rhythms, different length of the four parts involved, etc. It is also a great warm-up before your gig or your practicing routine, including important basic principles of drumming.